Good afternoon to all the participants, the speakers, as well as the participants for today's session. As you all know, this webinar is part of 𝐻𝐸 2024, wherein we are doing a series of webinars on various topics ranging from food and beverage, chemical. Then we have sessions on EV, semiconductor, renewable energy, and also finally on what can be done in the realm of green hydrogen. So today's first session, if some of you might have attended, was about food and beverage sector. And this particular session, the second session for the day, is on chemical manufacturing and opportunities in this sector. The session is being hosted by SolutionBuggy. We basically will be taking a look at the industry overview. What are the current market trends for specialty, intermediates, inorganic chemicals, and also look at finally the target market and who will be the probable buyer of the finished product. So before I start, a quick introduction to SolutionBuggy. We are an online platform to connect the manufacturing industries to the experts. Today, we are probably India's largest platform for the MSME sector in the manufacturing domain, and we have more than 12,000 plus experts. We have completed almost 3,500 projects across India and also a few in the Middle East sector. Over the last 6 years, we have done projects to be doing anything from one-day consulting assignment, new management, or training programs, to all the way up to setting up of industries, right from concept to commercialization stage. From a stage where people come to us saying that I have a land in mind, I have some budget in mind, can we do something? So right from market research, it will be product identification, doing a detailed project report, getting assistance in funding, be it either the bank or the government schemes and various other central government schemes, and aid, machinery procurement, plant setup, commissioning, supply chain management, and also looking at sales and marketing development. With that, I would like to introduce myself. I'm 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐨, Director at SolutionBuggy. I have about 20 plus years of experience in consulting as such. I am an electronics engineer and an MBA from 𝐼𝐻𝐸 Bangalore. The reason, currently I am one of the directors at SolutionBuggy. The reason for this webinar is basically to understand what the chemical industry holds as a potential for an entrepreneur within India market as well as the export market, and the various opportunities that an entrepreneur can look at. Of course, over the next 90 minutes, I think I have a set of stellar speakers who will be talking more on this sector and throwing light in this sector. First of all, I have Ms. Akanksha Sharma, who is an MTech from IIT Bombay. She is a director at R&D at Covalent Mumbai. She has about 15 plus years of experience ranging from HUL, Lubrizol, Diversity, and right now with Covalent. She has expertise in R&D in different sectors, right from food and beverage, pharma, detergents, FMCG, and also in home care segment. I welcome you, Ms. Next, I have Dr. Jaswant Singh, who is an MSc and PhD in chemistry with 30 plus years of experience as a chemical and petrochemical expert. He is based out of Gujarat. He has published more than 16 papers in various journals. He has led departments right from production to R&D, operations, and finance in sectors ranging from inorganic chemicals, dyes, agrochemicals, petroleum wax and jelly, waste plastics, and activated carbon. I welcome you, Dr. Jaswant. So, I think with that, I would keep the forum open to the two experts today. I'll call upon Dr. Yaswant to talk us through his presentation. We will be pulling up the presentation, Dr. Yaswant. You can let us know when you want to move to the next slide. Dr. Yaswant, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I am going to hear, but how to?
Yeah. So we will be showing we will be showing the presentation.
PPT. I have to have PPT.
It will come up on the screen. Okay, sir. You can start. Sir, are you able to see the presentation?
I am not able to link my PPT to.
No, we have already put the PPT on the screen. So my team will be managing it. So you can see the screen, you will see the PPT.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Not
We can
proceeding
start.
further. Right.
Sir, please go ahead. Dr. Jason, are you able to hear?
Coming. It is not coming on the screen. My PPT.
No, it is on the screen, sir. We are able to see it.
I am not able to see it.
Okay. No, he's not able to see it.
Hello. Hello.
The screen is not.
I am not able to see my PPT.
Sir, what are you seeing on the screen? Are you able to see now, sir?
This it is coming chemical Dr. Jaswant Singh, but my PPT is not there.
So that is only your PPT, sir.
Huh?
Sir, that is the presentation.
But it is not proceeding further, no?
No, you won't be able to do it. My team is there here. So if you tell next, they will be moving to the next slide.
Yes, now it has started.
Yeah, okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I am saying that this slide shows that lot of industries, chemical industries, I have given a small list only, but this contains important chemicals which are generally produced and in industries. List is too big, but I have shorted to only limited industries in which field one wants to enter. It is the list that. And now I will come to next slide. Next slide. Now I am going to discuss a few projects which I feel are worth taking up. Projects are related to production of chemicals which are profitable, workable, and can be scaled up even if started on a small scale. Yes, please. Now coming to detergent industry, detergents and soaps contain substances that they are called surfactants contained in the detergents molecules, and on the other hand they stick to dirt present in the unclean clothes. Surfactants in the water which then acts on the grease by clinging to it, and when this water is released to the drain, the grease is also going off with the water, and that way the clothes are clean. The different chemicals used in the detergents are linear alkyl benzene sulfonic acid, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium lauryl ether sulfate, caustic soda flakes, soda ash light, and glacial acetic acid.
So maybe you can also talk a little bit about these chemicals and what is the potential for these.
These mainly detergents are now available and abundantly used in the household and laundries, because this linear alkyl benzene sulfonic acid is the main product which is produced from the linear alkyl benzene after sulfonation with oleum or sulfuric acid. This is linear alkyl benzene sulfonic acid. This is the main product. Sodium lauryl sulfate is sort of foam creating substance, and sodium lauryl sulfate acts certain advantages to the detergents, like the soda ash is a alkali only. This is also required to some extent in the detergents, and the carboxymethyl cellulose gives it a body, and other are some substances required to add to the detergents so that they can be properly used and they work properly also for all the making dirt to be removed from all the clothes. For a small unit, about 40 lakhs is expected. Depending upon the production capacity, details have to be worked out.
So, if suppose somebody wants to set up this unit, can he supply to the big players, or should he make his own detergent?
Yes, one can make it, but either he can purchase linear alkyl benzene sulfonic acid from the market, or can make himself from the linear alkyl benzene. Sulfonation is carried out in the reactors with oleum, and then these small additives are to be added at the proper timing. In the main is the linear alkyl benzene, and this can be a continuous process also, because this is a sulfonation. It can be a continuous process, and in addition at certain stage, one by one, these chemicals can be added and the finished products can be obtained. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now this is a admixture for cement. Actually, when cement is prepared, immediately it is short time it is to be used. Once it is prepared, cement, concrete, and other things are added, and it is immediately to be used, and within a short time. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
This cement is admixture is a substance which is used in the mixed cement concrete, so that solidification time is increased, and it can be controlled up to about 3 to 4 hours, so that the concrete can be dispatched to the place where the building is created, building is being made. So building site it is could be taken, and that is why admixture is used and manufactured. Generally, they say that the smallest component of admixture is corn syrup and liquid sugar, but it is not enough. Other additives are to be added in that, so that it is stable, and at the same time the constituents of admixtures are selected from the water reducing admixture, so that a small quantity of water is required when it is to be used. Slump retainer, set retarder, air entertaining admixture, air deformer, shrinkage reducing agent, or hardening accelerator, because these are the properties of the cement which are to be controlled, that what are the quality of the cement concrete is required. So accordingly this is added, and this can be prepared in a small scale or depending upon the quantity being produced. And the cost of the
end customer for this is mainly the RMC, ready mix concrete manufacturer.
No, yeah. Only thing is sometimes the concrete is mixed at the site of the where the building is being constructed. But this admixture used when certain times you simply directly concrete is given at the site, and immediately it can be used without doing anything. So that is the advantage of admixture. So this admixture is now mostly used in all the industries, that just they have to take the concrete and just put it in the building, and it will settle accordingly in the shortest time. So this time gap is required where it is required adding admixture in the concrete. And the cost of about 50 to 100 rupees per kg. Cost of production, I don't know.
Setting up a plant?
I don't have much knowledge about this product, but it can be worked out.
Okay.
Now coming to fly ash. Fly ash is a kind of industrial byproduct where power plant based power plants units are there. When coal is burned up, the fly ash is the residue of the coal ash. Now lot of coal is being used in power plants. So accordingly, the quantity of the fly ash produced is 1,000,000 tons of the fly ash. Now it is going as a waste or just landfilling. After all, if the material, something can be extracted from the fly ash, that is required. And one best use of fly ash is it is used in the cement industry, a part of it, but that is not enough in the cement industry, though it is regularly used, because it contains silica and alumina, and which are the components of the cement also. So there it can be used to some extent after modifying the fly ash. Other important uses of fly ash is it contains lot of silica and alumina, so it can be used by other industries also to extract like sodium silicate or sodium aluminate. This can be extracted and can be used in small scale industries also. Extracting a process, there are already processes available which can be worked out, and it won't be very costly. But only thing, high temperatures are required, and alkalis are used in extracting the alumina or silica from the fly ash. And I have done innovation. I got innovation award from NTPC because I submitted a project on conversion of fly ash to manufacture zeolites. Zeolites are sodium aluminum silicates, so both are present in the fly ash, so it can be converted into sodium aluminum silicates. Next slide, please.
So where are these zeolites used? Where is the zeolite used?
There are a lot of uses. I will come to a slide where it is given what are they right. Now coming to since these are the fly ash is also used as a solvent also after modification, but activated carbon is now coming to activated carbon which produced from the fine sawdust. So this is the major use of this is all industries use it activated carbon because this is opportunity to purify the water. Even in RO water systems also these carbons are used. And another thing is industries also we use get pure water also, or the liquids or solvents which are to be purified from the impurities. There also this activated carbon is used. And another is the this function is to control the pollution. It is also possible that air pollution can be also carried out on the activated carbons. And there are also, because they become porous when they are activated and they absorb the polluting chemicals. They are also used to bleach the liquids which to remove impurities. Another important agent used for bleaching or effluent treatment plants are bleaching earth, which is also known as a bentonite. This bentonite is also very useful for many industries where purification or effluent treatment plant effluents are required to be treated. And because there are hazardous chemicals which should not go to earth, so to remove such thing, these activated carbons, coconut shell carbons, and the bleaching agents are used. So this is one of the best requirements for, what's putting up a separate plant for all these things. And main thing is all these three raw materials can be used and it can be produced in a single unit, where plants will be separate, but they can be simultaneously produced.
So this bentonite is basically multani mitti, na?
Yeah, it is there, but there are different categories. Certain bentonites are useful, certain are not useful. There, of course, sort of, you can say, molecular sieves. Previously, bentonites were used, converted into molecular sieves or zeolites. Now they are different chemicals, sodium aluminate and sodium silicate, directly used for making the zeolites also. And this bentonite is a stone only, which is to be crushed and converted into powder, and then it is to be activated with temperature, as well as adding some chemicals in it to activate it. Right. Next slide, please. Hello. Next slide, please. Now, zeolites. This is what I am talking about, sodium aluminum silicates. These are a very big industry now, because it was when I did PhD in zeolites, that time just it was a beginning of zeolite entry into India, and I was the first PhD on zeolites from National Chemical Laboratory. And zeolites are used as a catalyst in various industries because they have got the porosity, as well as it is a sodium aluminum silicate. Sodium can be exchanged with the other metals, and which will make it more active for certain reactions. So according to the reaction, the cations can be changed also. So they work as a catalyst, and because there are porous, so there is also activity of specific type of chemicals in the pores, and they can be converted into different required chemicals. Another property of zeolites is cation exchange capacity. That is what I said, that it can be about 100% sodium can be replaced by transition metal zeolites, transition metals or other metals which are important for catalyst. Another is that it can be used for water purification also, because the way water contamination is generally aluminum and magnesium contained in the polluted water or the raw material received from the ground level. So they can be exchanged with the ions of the zeolites. So that is why how the water can be decontaminated. And zeolites are used for the water from electroplating. Lot of effluent is received from electroplating industries and paper industries, which is polluting also. So this also zeolites can be used for decontamination of water because the electroplating industries contains ions, either copper or other ions. So they can be removed from using the zeolites and can be converted into sodium form, which is not effluent. Similarly, adsorption. Now it has got a lot of properties for removing water, hydrogen sulfide from the air, or the amines, alcohols, carbon monoxide, alkene gases on the zeolites. Most important thing is there are three types of zeolite, zeolite A and zeolite X or Y. The zeolite A has got small pores, so there are small pores which molecules are small in size. The molecules size I am talking about, that they can be separated by using A-type zeolites. The bigger size of molecules can be separated by X and Y-type zeolites, because it all depends upon the size of the molecules which are to be separated from one another. A smaller size will be separated and bigger size will pass. A bigger size will be separated and a smaller molecule will pass through the zeolite. So separation will take place, and for that it is very effective. For example, isopropyl nitrate is a propellant which contains water, which is not required in the propellants. So I have developed a method in which the liquid isopropyl nitrate was separated, water was separated from isopropyl nitrate, so that it can be purified isopropyl nitrate and water can be removed, which can decompose it otherwise. Next slide. Hello. Next slide, please. Now coming to dyes. India is a global supplier of dyes, and in the lot of it is exported to foreign industries. The production of dye stuff is possible if one want to put an industry on dyes. He requires dyes intermediate as a raw material. Dyes intermediates are many. I am only giving a small list only, but a few of these products could be made in the same plant, which cost about 1 crore rupees, or depending upon the plant size. Some of the important dyes intermediates are H acid, Perry acid, and Laurent acid, J acid, NMJ acid, Chicago acid, Tobias acid. These 5 products can be made in the same plant. And then another is para-nitroaniline. A separate plant is required for para-nitroaniline. In all these things, dyes intermediate, main thing is there. It is required naphthalene, sulfuric acid, oleum nitric acid, caustic soda, lime powder, magnesium oxide, etc. as a raw material. Equipment wise, there are a lot of equipment required in this, because sulfonator is separate, nitrator is separate, neutralizer, filtration, autoclave, then isolation tanks, storage tanks, boilers, chilling plant, cooling system, cooling plant, vacuum, filter press, quality control lab, and finally effluent treatment plants. These are the major requirements for any dye intermediate plant. If you want to have a industry based upon dyes intermediate.
Sir, this dyes, the end user for these dyes are mainly the textile companies, is it?
No, not only textile, but otherwise also food industries also some dyes are required for. Otherwise, it is maximum is for textile industries.
So this is both food grade and the chemicals also.
Yeah, they are separate. Purification of the dyes is important. For food grade, the quality has to be maintained. All dyes cannot be used for food grade, because certain specifications are there which are to be maintained for food grade items. And for textiles and other things, of course, there is also quality to be maintained. But then different colors are required. And because prints are required, different color prints are required. So different color of dyes are required. And for not only these, what I have mentioned as a raw material dyes intermediate, there are other also chemicals which are required in the dyes, because diazotization is carried out with the dyes intermediate. After diazotization, the dyes is prepared and that has to be filtered and purification has to be carried out as for dyes intermediate. The plant, different plants are there. Proper parameters are to be maintained in all, whatever you produce, whether dyes intermediate or the dyes. The quality has to be maintained and parameters have to be maintained. And land requirement depends upon the how much capacity, what capacity you want to put in the plant, dyes intermediate. Next slide, please. Coming to H acid is 1-amino 8-naphthol 3,6-disulfonic acid. You will see that naphthalene is simple a naphthalene compound which has to be sulfonated. Sulfonation takes a lot of time because first is 2 sulfonic acid has to be introduced into the naphthalene. But first in sulfonation, 3 sulfonic acids are produced and which are to be converted into 2 sulfonic acid. Then this product has to be nitrated and then with iron it is reduced so that nitration comes into amino groups and amino group is introduced into this thing. Then again a fusion is carried out so that OH group is naphthol. OH group is to be introduced in the naphthalene. So then after that only isolation is carried out and H acid is produced. So for your information, about 25 steps are involved in the manufacture of H acid, and each step time consuming is about 2 to 24 hours. So therefore each step requires full attention to maintain time cycle, which means utilizing full capacity of plant per month. In 1-2 industries, I have seen that the plants were running about at 50% capacity because their time schedule was not maintained, because the one product prepared to be transported to the another reactor and from there to the third reactor. Like that, after the completion of the reaction, the mass is to be transported to another reactor. If it is not transported, then the time will be more consumed, and at the same time the quality is also affected. The quality of the product is reduced. So that is why time, any industry you take, not only dyes intermediate, time cycle is a factor which one has to maintain it, whatever chemicals one is maintaining. Right.
What is the use of this H acid, sir?
H acid is used for dyes intermediate, dyes making dyes only. Certain type of dyes are used for H acid. All these dyes intermediate diazotization, that is NN group is introduced in the H acid, and then that product forms a dyes and which has to be again purified different steps. Now I said that alkalis are there, but which are very important and large scale of alkalis are produced in India. Similar is the case with hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid, hydrofluoric. All these are important acids, and one time it was said that the country which is producing highest quantity of sulfuric acid, that is coming at the first highest industry, chemical producing industry. So that is why all these acids are required. Whether any industry, dyes intermediate also you require sulfuric acid, nitric acid. For phosphate industries, phosphoric acid is required. Hydrofluoric acid is required for, you say that Teflon making is there for a lot of and acids are coming out as such only in dilute form. If you can recover those diluted forms, this can be used. Hello. Hello.
Sir.
Next slide, please.
Yes, okay. Okay.
So this is about the acids that now inorganic salts. Now this is also a very, it has gone. Now inorganic salts are also very big industries. All fine chemicals which are produced, these are the inorganic salts is one of the sectors where it is used. Now coming to the certain salts are produced as a byproduct also, which can be separated and purified. For example, manganese sulfate is obtained from the hydroquinone plant. So that is separated, and then pure manganese sulfate is produced. Similarly, a lot of others are also there. Iron is also obtained from the waste ferrous materials, waste iron products, and similarly, sodium chloride is produced from the sea water. As you know, it is a very big industry, and a lot of salts are required in industries as well as household. Only thing is purification of that is required for household purposes, but for industry it is technical grade is used. There's a lot of compounds are there: sodium sulfate, sodium bisulfite, sodium thiosulfate, sodium hydrosulfite, sodium nitrite, so silicates, and similarly are aluminum chloride, aluminum oxide, alums, calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide. All those things are there which are required to be produced as and certain chemicals are used in the testing laboratories of various big industries. Whatever big industries, chemical industries are used, because testing of the chemicals is always required. So there these salts are required in large quantities. And therefore the cost of this, the sales cost of these products becomes very high. So it is worth going for the production of inorganic salts. They can be AR grade as well as technical grades. Right. Next slide, please. Hello. Now coming to all those industries I am talking, the money is required. Funds are required to set up any industry, whether small or big. Now, major industries, for example, food processing industries are there, personal care products are there, home care products are driving force for chemical, petrochemical demands in India is increasing. Specialty chemical companies are increasing their production capacities. The H petroleum project at Bharuch has attracted an investment of 1 lakh crores of rupees. And PLI scheme introduced promote bulk drug parks with a budget of 1629 crores. PLI plant for National Program on Advanced Chemistry Cell Battery Storage has been approved by Union Cabinet. About 8 lakhs crore rupees are separated for this industry. You see that a lot of funds are there from the government as well as from the private investors also. And so these funds will be available provided your project report is proper and your interest in that is you have to decide which project you want to, because dyes into chemical petrochemicals is there, then personal cares are there, home care products are also there, and then comes the plastics is a very big industry, and similarly chemicals which comes the petroleum sulfonates or oil industries. A lot of oils are used which can be purified. Also, petroleum products are there. Everywhere it is the refining of the raw material which which requires an industry to do in which particular chemicals he wants to handle it. So once purification is there, lot of oils are used there for many components of produced on a large scale. So these are the things which require one's attention and one's decision to go for such products.
Is there a good market opportunity in the export market also for the chemical?
Actually, all these products are already being exported to large extent. About in some cases, it is about 40% being exported. Some are about 25% to be exported. Whether it is dyes, intermediate, or personal care products, or the chemicals are there. All these petrochemicals also, plastics also, and oils also. These products are being exported also. Because certain things are available in India, for example, certain C8, C4, 6, 7 chemicals are being made in India in large quantities. They are being also exported, but smaller carbon-containing compounds are less produced, so they are actually imported also to some extent, because they also require in the industries hydrocarbon-containing small carbon atoms. Ethylene, propylene, these chemicals are produced in large quantity in India.
So if somebody is looking for an export market, is there any extra licenses he will have to look at?
On that also I am coming, and my one slide is there. All type, actually there are 5, 6 licenses are required. One is for production of the chemicals. Then Factory Act, you have to start the factory, that license is required. Pollution Control Board license is required, and NOC, no objection certificate is required. And then from the finance also, there is whatever investments you are required, for that also licenses are required. A lot of licenses are required. If you are producing any chemicals which are hazardous, then from explosive department, those licenses are also required. So about 8 to 10 licenses will be required for whatever chemical industry you are going to put. And for exports also, license will be required. Now loans. I said that personal loans are all and industrial loans are available from regular banks, as well as there are many financial institutes who give loans for industry, like Shark Tanks and other things. If you convince them of your products, then you can get a loan also, about few crores rupees you can get from the Shark Tanks. Other investors are also who are looking for the industries which they think that develop into great returns. So these investments are also there. And rate of interest depends upon the loan amount and the period you are taking. Even government is giving Prime Minister Mudra loan also, but these are the small loans. Whether if you are going for a small industry, cottage industry, then these loans are helpful. But if you are going for a big industry, you have to find out the investors as well as the partners also who can put that much money in the plan. Details can be worked out from the banks and chartered accountants. So this is all about the industries. Main thing is their effluent treatment plants will depend upon your starting the industry. These all NOCs are required. Without going for getting that, you cannot put any industry. So all sort of formalities, even if you construct a building, it should be as per the Factory Act. Not that you just build anything, whatever you desire. It has to be dimensions, has to be as per the laid down in the factory industries, factory department.
So
all there, everywhere there are.
One question is, these are all in red zone, right? All these chemicals come under red zone. Or are they also?
That is mostly for no, for this is that is mostly for hazardous chemicals, not for all the industries,
Okay.
which are actually hazardous to human beings. Such chemicals which are produced, they have to be taken care of that.
Okay. Okay.
And then accordingly, the land requirement is there. That land has to be approved by the government, that where you are putting up industry, what is your loan requirement, land requirement, then whether water availability is there or not. This is an important factor. If water is not available, land is not enough. So all those raw material things are required whenever you start an industry. Then manpower is also required, whether manpower is locally available or not. So all those small factors are there, but which depends upon your industry, that whether you how much, whatever manpower required, whatever technical manpower required. Because certain industries now, it is mostly plants are coming automatic. For automatic plants, you cannot hire a layman, because proper control is required, and handling of the automatic plant, proper technical people, qualified people are required. And in India, this is the problem, that get the technical problem. Just either they have to be from the beginning, after getting engineering degree in chemical plants or mechanical plants for maintenance and other things, they have to be trained. And if you want trained people, then you have to train yourself only. And another thing is that attraction should be there for working in the particular plant. And that is why what happens certain time, after completing 2-3 years, one gets better opportunity, so one leaves the industry. So all those factory or internal arrangements, whatever is your philosophy for the workers and the technical people to retain them, that is a big problem. And your efficiency is required for HR management. Because I have seen most of the people leaving and then going to
One doubt which some of the entrepreneurs generally have when it comes to the chemical industry sector is, do they need to be chemically well qualified to set up these industries? Can they hire the right people and run the...
No, not necessary, but provided one should have a little knowledge of that. Technical people are available, managers, general managers and directors who can manage the show, because experienced people are available which can run. Only thing is the technical know-how is of any industry is important factor. If it is available, working of that is not a factor. Only thing is just like I am as a consultant, I can go to an industry where I see the problems, and which one can overlook also. And I can see the problem, where the real problem is there, and it can be improved. So that way, people are there who can run the industry at their own directions or capacity. But at the same time, the requirements of consultants come in the picture when your company is not getting proper yields, the conversions are poor, the yields are poor, the losses are coming. What is the factor for losses of any industry? That has to be judged. And if that is not judged, I have seen companies for 35 years running in the losses, because though they had the people, even PhDs were there, but they didn't have that look out, that where is the problem, how that can be solved. So those things are one's skill, that what can go for that, and one can work on that. So this is your personal, I am not saying about myself, but people are there who can analyze the things properly, diagnose the problem, just like a doctor. If a doctor can diagnose the problems properly, then the patients will recover fast. If he is not able to diagnose the problem,
Hello? Are you able to hear me? Hello? Sir, are you able to hear me? Hello? Sir, are you able to hear me? Okay, I think there seems to be some issue with the internet connectivity. We will have Dr. Jaswant with us for any questions. Meanwhile, I'll call upon 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐶 Sharma. Ma'am, are you able to join? Yeah. So we have Ms. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐶 who will be walking us through specialty chemicals. Like I had already introduced, she is the director of R&D at 𝐂𝐻𝐶, and she will be taking us through her presentation. Ma'am, your slideshow will be visible to you right now.
Sure.
Ma'am, are you able to see the slideshow?
Yeah, just because of internet connection, not there.
Yes, sir. So yeah, so thank you, sir. Please be with us for the Q&A session. Meanwhile, Ms. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐶 will walk us through her.
Okay.
So it is not yet visible.
I'll just ask my team to put it.
Oh,
All right. So I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Great. So thank you, Guru, for having me as a speaker for this webinar, mega live webinar. And so I'll be taking you all through the specialty chemical industries. What are the opportunities and the global factor, the growth factors for specialty chemicals in India particularly. So let me take you through the chemical industry segmentation overall. This is globally, if we consider the chemical industry, I'll just put off my video so that for better connectivity.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So if we consider chemical industry as a whole, it is broadly divided into 4 segments: the basic chemicals, specialty chemicals, agricultural chemicals, and consumer chemicals. Now, there could be many industries where there could be an overlap also. For example, pharmaceutical, it can be an overlap of basic and specialty. Or the consumer chemicals, that is another segment. Agricultural chemicals includes like fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, and so on. Now, specialty chemicals, there are many ingredients that come that go into agrochemicals also. So there is, so this is the basic segmentation of the chemical industry, and I'll take you through it in detail as well. Please go to the next slide. You go to the next slide. Okay. So what exactly specialty chemicals are? So specialty chemicals, I would say they are actually ingredients which go into the finished products. And they are characterized by innovation and customization. For example, there is a specific requirement from the client to have a particular, to develop a particular product having some unique properties. That can come through a one particular ingredient that can be developed by their suppliers. Okay, so specialty chemicals are actually ingredients and customized solutions which go into the finished products, and they can be developed only through innovation. So they are not just regular chemicals, but they are tailor-made solutions which go into finished products. They are unique and have specific function with performance enhancing properties. Specialty chemicals are high value products, and typically produced in small quantities because they are added in the finished products in very small quantities, but their value is typically very high. So they are added like in 0.5 to 2% of the formulations, but their value, their cost could be very high. They are niche among the overall chemical market, and of course they are input raw material for the finished products, and they find applications across these segments. If we talk about case, that is coatings, adhesives, sealants, elastomers, personal and home care products, agrochemicals, pharmaceuticals, construction, textile, and so on. So you see, in the previous 5 years, considering from 2021, the global market is increased by 4%, and from 21 to 26, there is a projection which is 4 to 5%. So the growth rate also has seen an increase by up to 25%. Yeah. Can you go to the next slide? So if you consider the specialty chemical industry in India, this is the segmentation, the sub-segments of the specialty chemical market. And if you say around 60% of all the specialty chemical industry is dominated by dyes and pigments, paints and coatings, agrochemicals, specialty polymers and plastics. So these almost share 60% of the overall market share of specialty chemicals. Yeah, next slide. This is a very interesting data that I wanted to show. In the left side shows the global chemical industry segment wise, like as we spoke earlier, as we discussed earlier, the basic chemicals, specialty, agricultural, and consumer. So if you see the different segments over the past around 8 to 10 years, the basic chemicals, agricultural, and consumer chemicals are almost stagnant or somewhat degrowing also. But specialty chemical has seen a growth from 17%, so it has seen a steady growth. Similar trend we see in the Indian chemical industry, which is divided into the sub-segments. If you see the bulk chemicals, petro, fertilizers, and specialty chemicals, again, the other three are either stagnant or degrowing, but specialty chemical is growing consistently. So this actually shows that specialty chemical is the major contributor of growth of the overall chemical industry. Yeah, please go to the next slide. So this is another data that we can see, particularly for the Indian chemical industries and Indian specialty chemical industry. So while there is a growth from over the last so many years, while there is a growth seen in chemical industry, but there is almost 100% growth seen compared to previous 5 years and the next 5 years. If you see in specialty chemical industry, the growth rate has been like tremendous. And that is how it is contributing majorly into the overall chemical industry. So this shows that specialty chemical plays a very important role, and we have to work in specialty chemical in order to grow the overall segment. Yeah, next slide. Down, yeah. So again, if you see this pie chart, compared to the Western regions like Western Europe and North America, the Asian countries are the key contributors to the global specialty market. Almost they share almost 48 to 50%, the overall APAC region. And this has been due to the stricter environmental norms in Western countries, and also the cost advantage in terms of logistics and labor, which is enjoyed by the companies in the emerging market. And also now the companies want to relocate to the demand centers so that their supply chain is optimized. And we heard from Dr. Jasmant as well, we have favorable government policies that are coming up. So this is the reason why APAC is becoming a key contributor. Yeah, please, next slide.
So in this, one question now that I have here is, when you say these are all into specialty chemicals, so each time somebody is manufacturing this, does it also mean that new R&D has to be done into it, or is it that these are chemicals which the technical know-how is being passed by the companies themselves?
So your question is very valid, and I'm going to take you through the actual R&D and innovation in the last few slides, definitely. So I just wanted to take you through quickly through these data, and then we'll talk about R&D and innovation. Sure. So the cost competitiveness in India, now when we see APAC becoming the key contributor, India has the highest advantage in terms of the cost competitiveness. You see the first graph, you can see that the labor cost is much lower in India compared to China, okay, in terms of the numbers also, in terms of the growth rate also. So that is the benefit that India has. In the second graph, you see there are so many parameters that are mentioned, and the pie chart, it actually indicates the color of the pie. It actually indicates the advantage it has. So India is having the highest advantage compared to US, Europe, and China in terms of labor cost, environmental compliances, plant capex, government policy support, and the geopolitical landscape that we are seeing now. All that is, considering all those factors, India is having the highest advantage. And compared to the global peers also, you can see India has highest advantage in terms of the raw material cost. In terms of considering employee cost and other costs, it is almost comparable to the peers. The operating margin also is much better in India. So these are all the data that I've taken from CRISIL. So I wanted to just highlight these information. Yeah, please. Next slide. So the key growth drivers for specialty chemical industry in India is that why India is having so many advantages is that first is that the China's specialty chemical market is eroding because of the environmental norms, taxes, capex, which is rising, the labor cost that is rising, domestic demand is slowing down. The recent pandemic has also created that shift. And now a lot of startups are working on this, like because they want to shift that demand from China to India. So a lot of startups are coming up who are developing alternate source of raw material, which was earlier only being developed by China. So this is one key growth driver. And the technology availability, yes, we do have in India, the technology availability, chemistry capabilities are available. We have around 200 national laboratories, around so many R&D centers are there. We have abundant supply of raw material, skilled labor, land, and world-class engineering R&D. Everything is available. Government support is now very well available. The PLI scheme, as stated by Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman also in the last year, that there is budget available, although it is not yet allocated for chemical industry, but there is a requirement, and they do understand, and this is going to be implemented soon in chemical industry, particularly for agro and pharmaceutical intermediates, as well as in dyes segment. And of course, the geopolitical landscape. So we see that specialty chemical industry in India will definitely grow. So here, Guru, I would like to answer you the question that you had. So for the India to become the global manufacturing hub for specialty chemical, what are the key enablers for growth? These are the 5 key enablers. And with specialty chemical, you have a competitive advantage. Now, I talk about research and development, but I would say that other than the supply chain optimization, everything it is the customized solution that defines finished products. So that cannot come out innovation, come without funding. So in order, of course, we see that anything that value, then is growth. So you need to bring on this development innovation. So is developing something new, something valuable for the customer is what. Sustainability, now there is discussion happening, but there's a lot of obstacles. Something will improve the carbon footprints. It can come through using the raw material. This slide gone, I think. This slide going to come up again? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, one slide up.
One slide.
Yeah, one more. Right. So, as I spoke, sustainability mindset, it also brings uniqueness to your products. And sustainability is something which is like reducing the overall carbon footprint. It can also mean that you're developing a specialty chemical which is absolutely environmental friendly, which will not cause any damage to the environment, or something which is a plant product, or something which is it is absolutely biodegradable. Those kind of ingredients can be used, or which can replace the hazardous chemicals. Okay, so that is one aspect of sustainability. Second is where you can use certain technologies which can save water consumption or energy consumption during the manufacturing process of a particular product. That is also sustainability. So overall, what savings or what advantage or what value that you can give, and sustainability is something where you can by bringing a lot of value to the products. Okay, so that is how now a lot of players in the specialty chemical are majorly working on sustainability, like developing biodegradable or absolutely non-toxic products, or they are working on replacing hazardous products so that the overall carbon footprint could, or tremendous energy savings that can come up.
So if somebody new wants to get into specialty chemical, he should have a sort of R&D.
Yes, it's in big with R&D. You cannot bring, you cannot make up. One is that again, I would want to emphasize on specialty chemical is it is a customized solution that you give to the client. So if a client says that I have this particular problem, you need to address that particular problem, then the would be that molecule which can address a particular problem. So that actual chemical may not be existing, but it has to be developed particularly to address a particular problem. So that is the reason you need R&D. And there is always continuous innovation that is happening. So when I talk about the third parameter, that is long-term partnership and client relationship. For example, I am a manufacturer of specialty chemical, and I approach to a client, and I understand that they have a particular problem, and I'm working on their product or their formulation to help them, develop a particular product using my ingredients. That is the partnership I'm having with that client. And in future, they will develop further more products. They will have more projects in their pipeline, and they will want to work with me because I have given them a solution. And that has come only through research and development and innovation that I'm helping the client to develop. Now, if I talk about the bulk chemicals, they are available and they can be replaceable also. Like suppose I am making a bulk chemical, for example, toluene or any other product. Some other manufacturer also, if they have a manufacturing setup, they also can make it. But if we talk about specialty chemical, it is actually customized. It is tailor-made. So you need R&D.
Yeah.
So as we were discussing earlier, like with Dr. Jeswant also, when we were discussing, you were asking that is R&D needed suppose, or in any entrepreneur, if they do an R&D mindset or not, should they be technically sound? I feel that there has to be a balance, because an entrepreneur, they know everything about the business, and an R&D person will know everything about R&D, but they may not know much about the business. So I feel that I have like so many years of experience in the R&D and technical services. I feel that there always has been little bit of clash between the business and the R&D side, and it is because and both are right on their part. But what happens is that the business will, the entrepreneur or the business side, they will think only about the numbers, but they may not understand about the technicalities or the problems that come up in R&D. Or the R&D person, he would be developing a product. There could be many problems that would be coming up, but the business person may not understand because he will think only about the numbers. The numbers are not coming, so they're saying that R&D is, I'm investing in R&D, but I'm not getting output. So there is always a clash, and I feel that both should understand each other. Both should have that understanding. Technology adoption I wanted to speak about is what new technologies you can use during the manufacturing to increase the energy efficiency or reduce water consumption and so on. So that also brings competitive advantage. So these 4 points, they are all a part of more or less R&D only, which is needed in specialty chemical industry. And of course, 5th is the supply chain optimization. That is something important. Yeah. Next slide. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah.
So here I have just, just to understand what specialty chemicals are and what kind of projects are there. And I just wanted to give some examples. These are some of the projects that I have worked on, and this will also give you an idea like how specialty chemicals work. So there was one project that I worked on. This is developing a liquid laundry detergent for the European market. And NTA is one ingredient. It is a bulk chemical. It is not a specialty chemical. And NTA is used to be added in almost very high concentrations in liquid laundry detergent, one of the best performing ingredient, which takes care of hard water. Okay, I will not get into very much detail, but I will just give you a little idea like what NTA does is that when it is added in a detergent, it will take care of the hard water. Okay, and it is one of the best performing builder known. But being a bulk chemical, and there was a regulation that came up for the European market that they have to replace NTA without, and we could not, we're not supposed to increase the cost of the formulation also, and the product also should perform equally well. So here the role of specialty ingredient came into picture. So we were able to, like, of course, research and find out that there was one specialty ingredient which we looked. I was in diversity at that time. So one article that we identified from BASF, that was NTA. And as I said, NTA, which is being used at up to 15%, 1.5 in formulation, was replaced by specialty ingredient at 1%, 0.5 to 1% range. And we were able to bring almost equivalent performance. The formulation cost was much lower, and this was an environmental friendly formulation. So this is one example that I wanted to give to just make you understand that these are the problems that come up from the clients, and this role of R&D where you have to give them solutions. So I was from the formulation side. Diversey is a formulator, but we had to identify certain specialty chemicals. Similarly, the second one, I would give an example. This is I have filed a patent also for the second one. It should soon come by the end of this year. So this is a liquid dishwash concentrate that was developed. So if you make any concentrate of a dishwash, it will become a thick paste like a toothpaste. Okay. So to make it low viscosity and still high concentrate, you need a specialty. You need some ingredient which can make it smooth, flowable, and transparent as well. It should be aesthetically appealing also to the users. So this was a dishwash concentrate that was developed with low viscosity using a specialty ingredient. Okay. So what was the benefit that we had? Manufacturing process requires less water. Now imagine any dishwash liquid or any cleaner, it will have approximately 70%, 60 to 70% moisture, water in the formulation to make it stable and transparent and everything. Okay. Now, if you make so imagine if you have to make tons of dishwash liquid, then how much water will be consumed? So if we can make a concentrate, then that level of moisture can be reduced to very large extent. So the manufacturing process requires less water, significant reduction in the packaging cost. So this is also a sustainability concept that we have. Okay. And third one is one example where we developed a spray dried laundry detergent powder. Okay. Now here also we incorporated a builder polymer. Now this polymer, when it was added, now I would just give a little background. Spray dried detergent powder means, for example, Tide detergent powder. You can see that Tide detergent powder is very free flowing and fluffy. That is because it is spray dried. It is not just the powders that are mixed together. It is spray dried. Means what? You make a slurry separately and then it is spray dried through a tower in hot conditions. Okay. So slurry will have a lot of water and then it will get evaporated and you get very nice, aesthetically appealing powder granules. Okay. So that is the benefit of having spray dried detergent powder. But again, as I said, the slurry has to be prepared, which consumes water. What if I add a polymer so that the water which I have to add to make it sprayable is around 35%, but when I add polymer, the water will be reduced to around 50%. So I have 5% moisture reduction. Again, that is tremendous saving. So you have tremendous saving in terms of water reduction, energy consumption also will be saved. So this is a sustainability example. So with this, I just wanted to give you all an idea that what unique benefits specialty chemicals give to the end customers, to the end users in developing formulations. So specialty chemicals are nothing but raw material, which give very unique benefit to the consumers, and they are difficult to be replaced, and that is the reason they have competitive advantage. Yeah. So these are the key players. I just have named a few of them. You must have heard about them. So well-knowns are the BASF, Evonik, Dow, 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐢, 3M. They all make specialty chemicals, intermediates for making finished products in agricultural space or in coatings, paints, or also in personal care, home care kind of products. So they all make specialty ingredients for this market. Okay. Similarly, in the Indian specialty chemical market, these are the major ones: Aarti Industries, Deepak Nitrite, Atul Limited, Gujarat Fluorochemicals, Vinati Organics, Naveen Fluorine. They're majorly working on agrochemical side because, of course, agrochemicals is a growing sector, which is the demand is also increasing, and the market share is also very high. So majorly they are working on this particular segment. And they are all making additives. They are making a blend of bulk chemicals as well as specialty. Yeah. Next slide. So here I have just mentioned a brief example, but of course, if some manufacturing setup has to be done, then what could be a typical investment that would be required? That has been covered earlier also, but if you consider the land and the building requirement, or the investment that would be required, if I have to for example, if I have to set up a soap manufacturing unit, I consider a roughly 50 lakhs. That would be comprising of the land, building requirement, and the machineries, the capex part. Okay, and if I say that it is a bag process, for example, a mixing process of 100 kgs. So soap requires like mixing and then extrusion. Okay, so it will have a batch mixing vessel and the extrusion part. If I both consider 100 kg setup, it will require approximately 1.5 to 2 hours to make it. So it depends on the volume also, but typically this would be the investment, and depending on so if there is a continuous working of the machinery for a day, it is approximately 800 to 800 kgs can be produced in a day, considering 100 kg vessel, which takes around 1.5 hours to make the soaps. So these are the basic. So we can definitely do the costing depending on the specific requirement. Machineries, licenses, and registrations would be required, and the bank loans are also available under various schemes. So this was all that I wanted to present. If you have questions, please feel free to ask.
So, yeah. Thank you for walking us through the entire world of specialty chemicals. But before I let you go, one question I think which many of the entrepreneurs also keep having. You have told mostly the pros of this field. If you can also highlight some of the pitfalls or the cons that an entrepreneur should be aware of when he is looking to come into specialty chemicals, then it will be helpful.
Yes, definitely. So the disadvantage, I also gave a little idea before. So in order to enter into the specialty chemical, I would say that R&D is very important. But at the same time, since R&D is an investment, the entrepreneurs, they feel that if we have done an investment, where is the input coming from the projects that we have done from R&D? Okay, why not I make the regular products which will give me immediate revenue? Okay,
Yes.
so that is a major problem, but they have to also understand. So again, I said that the mindset is very important, because R&D requires a lot of time and effort, because one is understanding the customer requirement, developing it at your own facility, okay, and then making it work in the customer's formulation. Now you might have developed a product, understanding the customer's requirement. When you give it to your client, it may fail at their end, okay, it may not work at their end. So it is like a continuous to and fro communication that keeps happening, and that's why that long-term relationship is very important. Building that relationship and trust is very important, and it takes time. Okay, so you may not see the fruits immediately. It takes time. Sometimes, now, for example, if I have to, I'll give you a simple example of a paint industry. Now, if I have to make an ingredient for a marine coating application, for example, now marine coatings. If I have to, so marine coatings, imagine it will those kind of coatings will be exposed to salt water conditions, highly corrosive environment, okay? And so it needs to have approximately 10 years of durability, Okay, so if I develop an ingredient for my client for a marine coating application, they will do that extensive test of around. So their testing period only will be of 6 months. Okay, and in that 6 months period, there are chances that the product will fail, and after 5 or 6 months, they will come back to us that the ingredient that you have given, it is not working after 4 months. After 4 months, it has corroded. Our paint has corroded. So you need to rework, right? So this is, of course, a specialty chemical. It is a high value product, but then it requires like extensive patience, and a lot of work is required. Okay, so you may not get the fruits immediately from the innovation or the R&D set investment that you have done, but of course it definitely helps you to build long-term trust and relationship with the clients. So you may work with on some regular products, some bulk chemicals also. So most of the industries, they work on not just on specialty chemical, but they always work on a blend. They have a portfolio, a blend of bulk chemicals and specialty chemicals both, because the bulk chemicals will help them grow their bring revenue, and specialty chemical will give them high value. Okay, so both go hand in hand, and there are pros and cons for both. I hope I've answered
yes, perfect. So I think it was a wonderful session with both the speakers. But before I let you go, we have a small poll that is being shown on your screen. I request all the participants to please answer the questions. It is about 5 questions that you need to answer. Will not take more than 5 seconds. Kindly answer these questions, and then I have 2 more questions, panelists, and before we wrap up this session. All of you, whoever is participating in this webinar, please have a look at the questions and kindly answer them. As the participants are answering the questions, I have a question to Dr. Jaswant Singh. Sir, are you able to hear me? Hello? Dr. Jaswant, are you able to hear me? I think there is some technical issue. Anyway, ma'am, question as a follow-up for that question. People are asking how much time it will take to set up a plant in specialty chemical.
This is very, very subjective, because it will vary from application to application. It depends on the kind of application. Majorly, the setup may not take time, but I think the licenses are something that takes some time.
Right.
They take almost like 3 to 6 months time for the licensing part. But again, specialty chemical is again such a huge segment. What exactly, what kind of a plant that you would like to set up? It will depend on that as well.
Right. And also, it is not something that you will produce in bulk. And it is not that you will be making the chemical and then trying to look for buyers for it. So it is probably the other way around, wherein you will be getting the complete order and then setting up a plant to make that particular chemical.
Right. And there could be some trials also that you may have to do, depending on the specific requirement, if all the parameters are coming up right or not. Because after the plant is set up, the product also that has to be manufactured at that particular location in certain quantity. So that trial runs and other things also will take some time. So we can calculate like separately
Correct.
on that. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so I think it was a wonderful session with both the panelists, being so knowledgeable. I think 1.5 hours is not enough to put forth their views and whatever domain knowledge that they have. But I think we have just scratched the surface today, and I would definitely want to thank both the panelists for their time and for giving their knowledge to us and spending their time with us over the last 90 minutes. There will definitely be more questions that might come up with the participants. We will share it with you as and when they come up, and we do hope you enjoyed the last 90 minutes with us, and we are sincerely thank you for all the effort that you have put in making this presentation and sharing it with us. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Dr. Jathwan.
Thank you, Mr. Guru. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to all the participants. Do join in tomorrow. To all those who have taken the the complete pass for a session on electronics and the semiconductor industry, the first session. We will see you then. Thank you.